Good afternoon, YouTube. This afternoon I am out in this beautiful Bluebell woods. It is 4:14 p.m. Sunset is at 8:30 p.m. 0% chance of rain, gentle breeze and a low of 10 degrees tonight. So a nice evening for what I'm trying to do. And that's not necessarily to film tonight, but certainly find a badger set. Yeah, I've tried many times. And this is an area I've not scouted before for badger, but it's no less likely here than anywhere, I guess, really. The ground here undulates a fair bit. And I know they tend to like, these raised banks. And there's quite a few of those here. I think with how thick some of these areas are with the bluebells and the grasses and the wild garlics, I think there's good signs, if you find them, where a badger's been walking through, or whether it's a fox or a deer, obviously because the amount of how close to the ground that their kind of stomachs clear as they make their tracks. So yeah, looking for deer prints, fox prints, badger prints, or any signs of the above, really. So I've got 4 hours of daylight and I've got a fair area to cover. So with my binoculars, I think I can scan both sides of a direction that I travel. And then obviously if there's areas that I then can't see with binoculars, i.e. like a ridge line, I'll pop over and check out the opposite sides. There's a couple of streams here that I need to cross. I was doing the same thing for barn owls in last week's video, and I was lucky enough that I actually saw the barn owls. Couldn't tell where they were, where they'd nested, but at least I know it's a good spot for the barn owls. So I shall now head back on another night, set myself up and try and get some better footage and some nice photos. But today is badger day. Got a flask of coffee and a chocolate bar, keep me going until I'm done. Let's go and have a wander. Let me come out into the sunshine. I love this stretch here because behind me we have dense woodland, containing everything from sycamore, ash, beech and a bit of some oak, and then a patch of grass, and then pine. I just love the sudden changes. Now this is an area I think I've had my best deer footage. I'm pretty sure it was here. Yeah, I seem to remember I nestled myself amongst the bracken. I mean, this year it seems that the old bracken hasn't kind of died down as much. So the fresh stuff that's growing through seems to be struggling a little bit. Right, let's try and keep it quiet. Not so quiet underfoot, unfortunately, very crispy already, but we'll try and keep it quiet underfoot. I can't express enough that when you're recording on the camera with a pair of headphones, especially if you've got the headphones kind of cranked up almost to the max, and you think you can hear the wildlife nakedly, so to speak, but you whack the microphone on and you start moving around, you pick out all sorts of extra noises. Right now we are in the kind of thick area where to see any distance I need to be almost on my knees, so I'm now going to drop the height of the tripod, and every time I want to stop, have a quick scout, I'm going to kneel down to do it, because you're going to struggle to see deers, etc. at eye height. We need to get down and start scanning. That's the plan. Found a great little spot to stop amongst the bluebells. So I'm just gonna sit here for 10 minutes, have a cuppa, listen to nature, see if any wildlife decides to come out and play. Well, I haven't found any signs of badger yet. It could be that they're just not in this area, in which case I'm not quite sure what the purpose of this video is going to give my viewers. Hopefully I'll at least find something to film and photograph. There's not enough. We're quite overcast today. We haven't got the gorgeous light bursting through the trees, lighting up sections of the bluebells particularly. You are getting pockets of light coming through every once in a while, but certainly not regularly enough to plan any kind of photo shoot. I've only brought my wildlife lens with me anyway, so but I do feel I'd love to stick a hammock up in here and just spend the night. God, the smell of those bluebells are just sublime. Black Dr. Gusto 2 sugars. Pretty spot on. I've definitely found what looks to be like a kind of track running down through here. I think I can hear running water. It's a bit tight through there, so I'm going to leave my bag and my camera here for a minute while I go and investigate further. You can see it's quite well worn. Goes off to the right here. Now, if it was a badger crossing here, I would expect to see some footprints in here because it's quite silty, and I think it's too far a section for a badger to jump. But I can see some little fallow deer prints just there. It's definitely being used by the deer. I think I'm going to investigate a bit further before going and getting my camera. Got some good track marks there. And some good signs of deer there. And I just heard a little bit of a rustle. And I don't know what that was. It's deer. It's definitely deer. See, now I wish I'd bought my camera and my bag. Oh, there they go. There's a good 7 or 8 there. And you can probably hear the wren as well, going mad. Okay, I'm going to go back And now you can probably hear the green woodpecker. Maybe I'm near a nest. It is on a dead tree. Let me spend 5 minutes here with my binoculars. Be good if it was a pecker nest. Ooh. Well, I've just spent minutes looking up and down this tree for signs of a nest, but there's 3 or 4 dead trees in a group here. And I had a look at them all. He was making a lot of noise, but only for a short period. So I'm figuring that maybe he's just calling. Where did I come in? He was calling for a mate maybe, but I want to go and find my camera gear somewhere and head back down this way, head over the hump, see if I can find any more signs of wildlife. Very exciting. I love this. Just out discovering new places, new wildlife, and even if I don't find wildlife, it's the anticipation of maybe finding wildlife. I guess I've never been one to gamble, but I can imagine that's kind of the buzz that gamblers get. It's have a one, have a one, have a one, have a one, yes, woohoo, or no, boo-boo. I think it's a bit like that with wildlife photography, where you find a trail, you follow it, and if you're lucky you find wildlife, and if you're not lucky you've still tracked the wildlife whether you've found them or not. So it's not as bad as gambling, I guess. Mind you, I've probably spent enough money on camera gear than some gamblers spend in a lifetime. Okay, let's carry on. Well, I was just getting my flask out of my rucksack because I've decided to park my bum on this little area. It's like a little raised section, so I've got a good higher viewpoint going that way, and I can see straight through the woods at knee level going this way. And I was just sorting myself out, and I must have startled some deer. So it's now time to put on the poncho and conceal myself a little bit. I use a lot of these camouflage bags, and I'd recommend these little labels to anybody off Amazon. I can leave a link for them below. Obviously, it's an affiliated link, so I get a small amount, but they're only £3 or £4 anyway. And it just means that you can label all your bags. It's 6:10, and I think I said it was 8:30, sunset. I seem to remember. There we go, that helps. But I'll probably just dig a buff out. That will just cover this part of me. I do have a whole head net, which I sometimes use also, just because it's got a nice little veil. Let me show you. It's quite good because it's got like a little veil that comes down over, and especially if I'm staying still, I can still see through it very well, enough so that my peripherals still work. Right, let's put some gloves on and get ourselves a bit sorted. Now I've been sat here for about half an hour, just sitting and listening. Now I need to stay quiet as I can now, and every move I make needs to be deliberate and slow. because I think that's where I haven't been yet. And that's where I've seen the two lots of deer. I mean, they've probably circled around me and gone back to where I started. It's now 6:51. So yeah, I think I've been sat here about half an hour. The only problem is, sat here amongst the bluebells, I could very, very easily just doze off and have a snooze. Well, I haven't found any sets today, so I don't see the point of staying until it's gone past dark. I've got to try and make sure I don't break my ankles getting out of here. It's very thick in some sections, so I'm probably going to give myself till 8 o'clock. It's another hour and hour and 10 minutes, and then I'm going to head out, because I've still got a fair walk back, and I still need to look up which direction I need to head back. So it's time to just sit back and enjoy. Well, it's just gone 8 o'clock, and I have half an hour really to get back to my van before it starts getting too dark in these woods. No joy on filming any wildlife, although I have seen two lots of deer, just not filmed. So for me, I've got to head out. I'm heading for a different patch tomorrow.